Thank you so much, everyone, and for joining me here for this very interesting session, which from Jharkhand Lake City University. In fact, there's a series of sessions which are going to happen starting today. Uh, all these sessions are essentially all geared towards making everyone understand and maybe get introduced to this this JLUET exam, which is the JLU Entrance Examination 2021. Uh, it's a very important examination from the perspective that it wants to support all the students who are essentially at the stage in their standard 12th where the exams are still pending, or of the board exams that I'm talking about. And so there is a bit of uncertainty in terms of what is going to happen for the future and how exactly we're going to kind of build up our own careers. So all those issues actually are of a great importance to all the students who are out here. And one has to understand that this is not just a one-off thing. Careers are actually not made in just one day or maybe in a month. It involves a lot of efforts over the period of time. And most important, I have seen from my own personal, journey through my school days to the universities, to my professional career, and now at the university, is that along with many things that you do, many efforts that you make, many perspectives that you gain as part of your own schooling and learning, you need great mentors around you. You need families to support. You need good friends and elders to support you and give you different options in life and how you want to build up those options and eventually arrive at a point of time where you say that this is a career which I'm just loving, or this is a career that I really want to, kind of be good at, right? So we thought that, from a Jharkhand Lake City University, we should, because our entrance examinations, the third round is actually coming up on 17th of May. We thought it would be a great idea to kind of reach out to all the prospective students as well as aspirants across different faculties and get to know about this JLUET 2021. And my session is actually in context of that only. So I shall take you through some of the interesting aspects of not only this particular entrance test, but also why exactly these tests become so essential for anybody who's wanting to apply at Jharkhand Lake City University. And not in a very generic sense, but in sense of from a different perspectives, from a different faculty perspective, from your choice perspective. So somebody would want to get into creative careers. So the faculty of journalism and creative studies, which I lead it at the university as a dean, or maybe from a different disciplines altogether as we go along. So today I'm going to talk to you about essentially about the creative careers, or which is aligned very well with the Faculty of Journalism and Creative Studies at Jharkhand Lake City University. So why is it that we are talking of creative careers? What's actually happening, and why should you be choosing a creative career? I mean, that's a question which many of us have, kind of faced in our own life, and I'm pretty sure that many of you who are intending to get into a creative career, or many of them who are sitting on the edge actually, or sitting on the fence and thinking about it, whether they should take it up or not, it is important for them to understand. And many times when I'm spoken to many of the students who are in standard 11th or 12th, many of them seem to be confused. Many of them actually, feel as if they are undecided about it. To be very honest, I do not see confusion, indecisiveness as something which one needs to be ashamed about or something which is negative. I think the moment you feel that you're confused and the moment you feel that you're undecided about a particular thing, you essentially need to tell yourself, and I'll come to it a bit later as well upon the same point, you need to tell yourself then that there is different options available to you and there are different explorations of career choices which you're wanting to make. So I think, again, it becomes an important piece to understand why creative careers. Today, as you all know, and I'm sure that in these times, particularly all of us, whether in schools or universities or in professions, we're all realizing what the world has come to, not from a pandemic perspective, but from a technology and creativity perspective. So technology is not enough. So much of a change is happening in the technology. It's a technology married with creative disciplines. journalism, films, animation, graphics, design, married with the storytelling, essentially, if you look at it, that yields us the results that make our heart sing. And this is a brilliant, inspired quote coming from Steve Jobs. And you know what it means. When technology and creativity comes together, there's a huge amount of work and opening up new careers which are happening in the world. And I think for me, this particular slide and this particular thought actually becomes the pivot thought for me. And not only for myself, for my colleagues in the faculty, but also many of the students who are studying with us currently in the undergraduate or postgraduate program. And the same thing goes to all of you who are out here intending to take up creative careers and maybe applying for JLUET and entrance to Jharkhand City University. There's a very, very interesting, research and survey done recently by Adobe. What they've actually found out that, 80% of the people that they had met, students as well as professionals, thought that creativity is one single most important skill to have as far as careers are concerned. It's very, very important. 2/3 actually feel that creativity and related careers are most important and valuable to the society. Now, why I'm giving you this quote is to make you understand that anything which makes an impact in the world, anything which is valued in the world to make an impact on life, is seen to be as a flourishing career, is seen to be as a paying career to look at it. And most important, creativity in any case gives you a huge amount of happiness. We all know about it, right? See from what is happening globally and what is happening in India. Creative jobs give you more than 24% more than any other industries. I mean, it's a fact consistently, pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, during pandemic, technology, media technology, and creative careers are growing very, very fast, right? So 24% more, these careers pay you more. Job growth in the creative careers is almost double that of any other occupations. I mean, and this is a data which comes from World Economic Forum, from different economies which they're working, and also different industry associations. So that's another very interesting piece of, kind of a data point, which makes you understand that creative careers in a wide domain are extremely exciting and something that one needs to take it up. Obviously, there's a figure which I've quoted in dollars. This could vary from different place to another, but the creative design industry particularly, pays you an average salary. It's always very high. And interestingly, what has happened over the period of time, it's not just about the jobs. It's about the value creation, something that you learn as a part of a creative education, and then you turn it into a great piece of a new business for yourself. And I've seen many of my students, even now, who never came from a business families, are running very successful creative businesses after undergraduate or after postgraduate. And also, along with this, and we have seen this happening consistently, the journalism is increasingly being rediscovered as one of the most impactful career choices in the world. And I see amongst undergraduates at my university and my faculty, as well as the students who are actually wanting to apply for it, extremely bright students, and who are looking to take up journalism as a career in different domains, whether it is a print or it is related to what you call television, or it is related to audio storytelling and news. So journalism is again becoming a very, very important area. So what can you do in face of this chaos? And many times this question comes up, so I thought I should definitely pick it up before I come to the test part of it. In these times, many of the students do ask us, and I think this is one, brilliant piece of advice which I have always learned, that what do you do when everything is so uncertain around the world? What do you do? There's so much of a chaos, people keep on saying. My first point is, ensure that whatever you are undecided about or you feel you're confused about, look at it as an open-mindedness. Just retweak your mind. Say that you're wanting to explore more things. You want to explore and talk to more people. Kind of see what the possibilities of the career choices are. The moment you start thinking that way, you'll start feeling more confident and you say, fair enough. The stage that I am in, I would definitely get confused to some extent. And I think you will start getting the answers. Second point is that you cannot know everything. Nobody in the world knows everything. I mean, that's why the constant quest to be curious, right? And this is a lesson which I had learned in my school days as well. Always try to be curious, which means keep on learning new things. And I think there is a great link between this being curious and curiosity and the creative careers that are so rapidly growing in the world around you. And they're paying very well, right? Third point is look for clues. In these times, be like Sherlock Holmes or Vyomkesh Bakshi, the best jasus that you would have seen. And look for clues related to how careers are growing, where the biggest changes are happening in the world around you, where exactly the maximum impact is going to happen, and how should I be as a professional or should I be as a student? Use my skills to make the greatest impact around me, not maybe in the family or maybe in the neighborhoods. So look for clues, you'll get great answers which you'll be able to use it for your own careers. Never sit back and say, okay, 10 years down the line, I'm going to become this. Have a long-term view is very, very important. At the same time, take small steps, do some small certificates. Speak to some people, listen to some great webinars which are happening, and we keep on doing many webinars right now. And they're free of cost, actually. Many webinars we have done in the course of this 1.5 years. There are many week-long, 15-long certificates we do from 11th, 10th, 11th, 12th students also the undergraduate level. Take up those things and you realize that you'll keep on adding value to your careers and your knowledge base, and it would all pay you, believe me. So take lot of small actions. And the last is never zoom in so closely to a particular career choice that you lose the sense of a big picture. The world is in shift, a lot of things are changing. Be in a position whereby you can see like a vulture, like an eagle, see the world around you in a big picture. More you see it in a larger frame, you will be able to get signals of what to do when. While as a student, while making great choices, getting into this JLUET, or maybe in a career when you take it up later on. So these are the 5 things which I always keep on reminding myself, and I keep on reminding everybody that I speak to. And I think try it once, you'll see great lessons coming out of it. Let me just show you a quick, audio, AV, which talks about why creative careers are becoming so big. Sorry, I'll play it again. So thrive essentially is the way that we all want to be in this particular age. There's nothing like a survival. I mean, that's the big, positive, hopeful, solid, impactful message that we should be giving to each other. Thrive, flourish. And I think the best careers, and I have seen it over the period of time, are the ones where you feel very happy. Please go back to all the subjects which you study, which you have studied in this, in your school, or maybe, and go on to study in the universities. Where do you feel you get the maximum marks? Are the ones where you enjoy the maximum. You make an effort, and nobody tells you to make an effort. Somehow I feel the creative careers, apart from being great careers and paying you very well, take you to the places in the world which you've never seen, and also give you opportunities to make an impact on the world, are the ones which are actually being preferred by many of the people that I see, or young students which I see. So creative careers are the ones which are the ones, and creative careers is a big umbrella. It would talk about it, would, or rather, it would have spaces like journalism, advertising, public relations, digital media marketing, design of particularly of different types. It could have been visual communication design, or it could have user experience. UX is a big areas that we are going in. Game design, filmmaking, animation, VFX, entertainment and events. I mean, all these are big bucket of careers, and they are all intersecting at different points of time. So the choice is yours for you to pick it up. Let me just quickly come to about Jagran Lake City University, which I'm part of. This is an amazing university, and I do not say, and I know it sounds very biased because I'm here, but the fact of the matter is, it needs to be seen once. I mean, unfortunately, in these times when you're unable to kind of make a trip to the campus, it's lush green. And the photograph that you see on my screen, it's not morph, it is not Photoshop. It actually is. And now, as the rains, approach, monsoons approach, this place is going to become even more lush. It's a beautiful campus and a beautiful university. In almost about 8 years, we have been consistently being rated as #1 universities in entire Central India. And we call it as a global university because of the networks that we have globally and the kind of benefits which our students and scholars get because of these international connections. There are 4 pillars that the university works with. And to be very honest, these many times when you see such pillars and vision and mission, they often seem to be pure words. Believe me, all of you who are all there, these 4 pillars we live every day. I mean, if you ask any of the faculty members in this university or most of the students in this university, they'll be able to tell you some semblance of their own narration interpretation of these 4 pillars. So these 4 pillars are student-centric, which means that our sole existence as a university is for the students. Everything that we do has to have a lens of what students would feel. How would they take it? How would they understand? Whether it is the extracurriculars or the classrooms, even the content we take feedback from the students, also the hostels and services, and so many other things. Essentially, it's an approach. It's a student lens that we wear. Second is, as I said, with a global university, makes us very relevant to the world because on one side, we have a great level of understanding of what India and Asian geographies are. But most important, we are very well connected internationally because we have almost about 42 international partners who work with us on various aspects of it across different departments. Within my faculty, I'll come to it later, there's some brilliant universities who partner us in different ways. Third aspect, which is very important, and I think it is even growing further, is this intensive industry intervention. Many times it does happen that the universities often work in silos. Academic rigor is very important. Understanding the content, syllabus, all those things are very important. Understanding the theoretical constructs are very important. That's why universities are. But most important is whether you're able to apply those theoretical constructs, which you study in the classrooms along with your professors and mentors, whether you're able to integrate it with the industry, because that's where the value comes in. For that, what do? We get a lot of industry professionals to come and teach. And they do not come just once in a while and teach one subject and go, one class and go away. They essentially teach the entire subjects, which means they are there with you for the entire semester, maybe more than that. The moment you have those professors, academicians, researchers helping you, at the same time, you have professional mentors from the industry helping you. It's very natural that you will become slightly more compact and you know exactly what to do when you step into the industry. And I think that's a very important contribution that JLU makes. And the fourth pillar, which is very solid itself, is that most of our programs across different faculties, in my faculty of journalism and creative studies, most of the programs are skill-based and they're interdisciplinary, which means that if I have journalism as a program, which the program is Bachelor of Journalism and Mass Communication, that program has interlinkages with advertising because as a journalist, you need to understand where exactly the funding of newspapers is happening. At the same time, the journalism students should also know a bit of filmmaking because they are supposed to be the visual storytellers, right, for the television. Same way, the film students also know a lot about human stories because they have to make films, right? So all these programs are interlinked somewhere or other. And most importantly, they are skill-based. And backing up this skill base is something within the Faculty of Journalism and Creative Studies is a studios, which I'll come to later. This is a basic statistics at glance for all of you people who have not known. You can always go on a website and check this out. And interestingly, almost about 12 to 14% of our students have scholarships, and scholarships of a variety which comes in. Most important, if you look at it, the alumni base that we have, as a university across different disciplines. These students are doing some amazing work in the industry, and that is the best way of kind of judging with yourself or as university whether whatever you have taught and whatever you have mentored them, whether it has made sense to the world in some way. Uh, almost 40% of our faculty are PhDs or research, what you call PhD holders, which again tells you that the bulk of the faculty who come to the play have a great grooming in academic matters. So it's not a question of just somebody coming and teaching. Somebody who has a great piece of either industry experience or the world experience or research oriented or understands academics is teaching you and mentoring you. And I think that provides a great value for any student who's applying for the university, right? We focus a lot on research not just by the faculty, but also by the students. And increasingly, we see a lot of students, even the UG level and PG level, contributing to the research papers and doing those things, because research is a very, very important piece of the world today. Whether you are an industry, you're running your own business, or you're working somewhere, research never leaves you. And I think it's very important that we as a university are able to mentor our students in that particular way. So I encourage everyone to be in that particular inquiry and research frame of mind. Obviously, our university, Jharkhand Lake City University, is UGC approved. It is linked with many regulatory bodies and all approvals, so to say. And because that's an important part of it, right? Also, very uniquely, we're the only university in Central India which is part of the European Union tuning project, part of the Erasmus Plus project, which is essentially is a European Union project, wherein they have selected handpicked universities in India to build up quality across university teaching on different aspects of university life, which also includes the syllabus as part of it. And I think it's a very, very prestigious credential to have. And you can very well imagine if European Union, international bodies are supporting and collaborating with JLU, it can very well kind of give you a sense of where the quality stays, right? That's important. You're part of this association of Commonwealth universities. All these gives you a great level of leverage for international programs and international exposure. All students, actually. I think that's why this particular association becomes important, and that's why this recognition comes to play. Many of you may have definitely heard about it. We are like, there's a QS ranking. So we are elite certified. We have this particular excellence in online teaching. Once the pandemic hit, many of the universities tried to get into the online teaching. Fortunately for us as Jharkhand Lake City University, we have always had this blended frame of mind, which means we were doing a lot of things, obviously, physically at the campus, but we were very well prepared when it came to online teaching. So the way that we see, or the way the world is, you never know, this semester may be online. Now, if online, I think it makes a great sense to be with a university where you are able to get everything online as well, and you feel that you are empowered. And I think this QS ranking, elite ranking, actually gives you that credential, or gives you that recognition that you are good in that space. Obviously, I would not dwell too much. It will be consistently rated as top universities. My own faculty of journalism and creative studies has been named as #1 school and faculty in entire Central India for media studies. And I think that's a very important credential to come from India Today and Outlook, right? I said about 42 international partner universities. And believe me, if you ever had a chance to interact with any of us physically or virtually, you will know that all these universities which I reflect are the ones which are very active and different ways. And many of the students keep on going or collaborating, professors coming down and teaching, or we're doing connected classrooms, which is virtual collaborations across geographies. All this would build your career up in a better way. And I think that's why the universities want to do this in our context. Interestingly, Jharkhand Lake City University has been at the apex of, I would say, in sporting and extracurricular. Our football teams have been consistently being rated as #1 footballing university in Central India. Chess, swimming, badminton, basketball, cricket. All these areas are the ones where the university excels. And there's a huge amount of encouragement for the sportsmen, girls and boys to come and join us and also play their sport. Not only that, the extracurricular activities, because the infrastructure is beautiful, it is able to support a lot of extracurricular. I mean, there are different clubs, music clubs, social impact clubs, photography clubs. All they come together to really help their students, apart from the academics, to build their personalities, their careers, their credentials. That's why this particular piece is very important. It's a very happening university. Many times, I hear students saying, the brightest of the students saying, if you really want to go to a place where you can be charged every day, you feel like going to the university, then I can say very safely that Jagan University happens to be like. It's a very happening university as well. So many times I've heard students saying it's a very cool university. Now, coolness comes from the fact that the culture of the university is such that we encourage our students to express themselves. And these are the students who are the brightest when it comes to academic matters. They're the brightest when it comes to accomplishments and impact. And they go on to make great careers. That's why this university culture bit is reflected as a part of our kind of conversation with you. Many events happen, knowledge series, we do TEDx's, we do we do music festivals, we do international igniting mind lectures where global professors come and teach and interact with the students. All these actually go on to make this particular place and space a very, very buzzing place, academic or non-academic, both kind of events. We had one of the biggest events which had happened, and obviously right now because of the lockdown, we're unable to do it. But the Sunburn which happened at the campus talked about the town actually. Huge music festival. Let me just give you a quick glimpse of what the campus is.
You can see this infrastructure that we're sitting at. If you shoot this out and just put this as a social media post, people would think you're somewhere in an international airport.
So infrastructure is the thing which lured me a lot. We have the pyramid in here. We have the most lavish sort of infrastructure in here, which gives our university an international look.
Over the years, our infrastructure has quite developed. The building in which we are today is the media lab, and there's no other such media lab which I've seen so far. So infrastructure is really nice, and it's quite impressive.
Everything from campus is having everything from a swimming pool to a fully equipped library. And as we know that the library is the cornerstone of every education system.
I think it's wonderful. I mean, when I get inside the campus, I do not feel anymore that I'm part of this city and this country anymore. You can see the labs around it.
At the same time, when it comes to labs, we have today excellent facilities when it comes to editing labs and there's media labs, for example, the print lab. So whatever a student works, he or she can see it from this institute or any other institute or any other office what they have worked during their course.
So these are the things which make this campus, as I talked about, pretty interesting. Obviously, it is very conducive to the learning, very conducive to the knowledge, very conducive to the teaching part of it. And I think academically, if you have to be at the apex or the top of the game in whichever discipline that you take, and particularly, I'm more concerned or more kind of interested from a creative careers, from a journalism, from design perspectives. These are the kind of campuses which breathe life into academic credentials. So the Faculty of Journalism and Creative Studies, which I lead along with my colleagues as a faculty, is made up of 3 schools primarily, and we call them flagship schools is because Jharkhand Lake City University has always put a great premium and importance on the media studies. They have consistently, and it's a very focused university from that aspect. So the 3 schools which form this particular faculty is Jharkhand School of Journalism and Communication. The second school is Jharkhand School of Visual Arts and Design. And the third school which is a partnership with one of the world's biggest entertainment and event companies. Many of you would have heard of it, which is Viscraft. So it's called Jharkhand Viscraft Mime School of Entertainment and Events. And obviously, there are different partners which are kind of supporting or collaborating with the faculty, which is University of Arts London. And University of Arts London, if you can just on the net, you'll find out it's one of the finest creative universities in the world. Then we also are part of Google News Labs, which means a lot of journalistic value comes in because a lot of new tools and technologies, data journalism, everything comes from industry. We're collaborating with them. We're part of this, partner to Imagine XP, who bring great level of design quotient and UX designing or new technologies coming into design forum. They're partners to us and we run programs. We also work with University of Lincoln as well as University of Sheffield Hallam. Many of our courses actually also are very, very intrinsically linked with the courses which all these international universities run. Now that gives us a great amount of leeway whereby our students and international university students are able to collaborate on the same platform. So I think you may be here in India, but you would have a great amount of leeway and access to the global universities. And I think what better to have this situation whereby you can access any of the professors globally. And that keeps on happening, and that broadens up your own horizon. And you know what exactly is happening in India as well as what is happening in the world over. That's why these academic partners become very important. Obviously, as I said earlier, the Faculty of Journalism and Creative Studies was ranked as #1 media education institutions in entire Central India, along with Outlook as well, right? So under the School of Journalism and Creative Studies, Mass Communication, we have these programs, which is BA Journalism and Mass Communication, which is a 3-year program with a specialization in journalism and advertising. Then at the undergraduate level, you have different programs related to advertising as well. At the postgraduate level, you get into MA Journalism, Masters of Journalism, or Masters of Advertising and PR. We also have a program which we are running with, we are starting with the industry, as well as where we'll have added certifications coming from international universities in MA in digital media marketing as well. Under the School of Design, Visual Arts and Design, we have different programs, which is Bachelor of Visual Arts in Filmmaking or Bachelor of Visual Arts in Animation or VFX. You also have programs in the Bachelor of Design programs, whether in the visual communication design or you go into the user experience design. And all these careers, to be very honest, are flourishing. I mean, there are more jobs available in these areas than the professionally qualified disciplines in this space. So which means this industry, these areas are going to go even further. The last one, which is along with the VISCA of that school, we have BA Honors Entertainment Events and an MA in Entertainment Events. This particular program essentially brings you a lot of industry practices in the campus itself. So when you organize great entertainment and events or experiential platforms, you are working with the industry to organize it. And what better way to learn, right? So I think this program is also taking off very well, and I think it is worth looking at it beyond the JLUET. Just to quickly show you the studios, which you would be able to access once you're able to get through with the entrance examination I was talking about. Take a quick look at the studio, and then we'll move on to the test. So this is what these studios are, and I really feel that, and I'm very pretty sure that many of you who are applying for the creative programs out here, journalism program, design programs, and once you're able to kind of get through with this entrance test, which I'll come to it very soon, uh, you'll all have the access to, and a very personalized and very customized access to these studios, and they are absolutely brilliant. And to be very honest, these media production studios within a university ecosystem, I think they're the finest in Asia, if not just in beyond it. And these provide a great level of understanding and practice to our students, and I think that makes it very, very unique. In fact, based in the studios, we have this Lake City Voice, which is the digital campus radio station run by these students. In fact, these the students that you see on my screen are students, journalism advertising students, who manage this radio station, which has been collaborating with the local governments, with UNICEF and various other bodies to bring the best programs for the students and listening. So it's run at the studios itself by the students themselves. We also have this television studios which students run, called Lake City Live, and also the magazine, which is Lake City News. So again, another way of ensuring that the students who are doing academic programs are also able to practice their craft while at the university. And that makes them industry ready. That makes them even more impactful for the world when they step out after finishing their graduation or post-graduation. As I said, different clubs where the students participate and run different things. Very, very important areas. Very, very important. If you talk to anybody globally, whether it is from the industry or from the universities, they'll say that along with the academic credentials, along with the great research orientation, you need to have a great sense of practice as well. And I think that is what makes the Faculty of Journalism Creative Studies extremely exciting, right? When you have great level of mentoring, when you have great sense of understanding what you're studying and you're feeling happy about it, and you practice, you end up getting great internships and great placements. For us, honestly, this is a natural progression for any students. Of course, university supports it 100%, whether it is the internships or the placements. But what is most critical, and I have seen over the period of time to all of you, these students of mine are themselves pushing their own craft where they get the best internships and placements. So imagine a situation where the students are so good that they end up getting the best offers. I mean, what better situation to be in as a professor or as a mentor, right? But you see from this particular slides, and this is the only thing which I could cramp in this particular slide. All industries, all companies, all brands from different spaces, whether it is journalism or design or films, they all come together and support our students in internships and placement. And I think that's very important because it is integrated as a syllabus as well, right? I just wanted to show you this show reel, a quick one. Is many of these students, who are even in the first years, managed to do some brilliant assignments, and that just shows how good these students are and how good the generation which is coming up is. All you need is a bit of a mentoring, a bit of a conviction in your own faith in your own abilities of what you can do to the world and provide great level of impact. At the same time, there are opportunities to work in studios, labs, software, machines, which gives you that particular platforms to grow as a great professional. Uh, Coming from there, let me just come to the move point of how to crack this interview and how to crack this particular JLUET, which is JLU Jagan Lake City University entrance test. And particularly, I'm more interested from a journalism and creative studies students who want to apply for the different programs. This essentially is which is going to happen. I mean, the JLUET, the next round, which is going to happen, is on 22nd May. We're going to have different rounds of this particular entrance examination. Idea is to provide every student across the country and internationally as well to appear for these online examination tests, and then take admissions in the areas of their choice. So the coming up entrance is going to happen on 22nd May. So do apply for it, and I'll leave the the links of where you can apply and everything. This entrance test is essentially in two parts. I mean, to be very honest, I'm not here to judge you only basis your knowledge. So, for example, if you're applying for an undergraduate program in, say, journalism, I do not expect any one of you to be journalists, right? I do not expect any of the students to know each and every details and intricacies about journalism, or for that matter, design or films. Idea is we just need to test you, we just need to assess you, we just need to collaborate and converse with you to understand if you have a great level of a passion in the area that you're choosing. That's the only thing that I want to find out. Especially in the case of creative careers or all these programs that I talked about, I'm not interested only to find out whether you got 100 out of 100. What I'm also interested in, how passionate you are to tell and express about your creativity, how good you are with the language, whether it is English or Hindi or whatever you want to tell, how good you are in terms of your own imagination and creativity, right? And God has made us creative. If you look at it, our brains are creative. Our brains are wired to tell stories and understand stories. So as humans itself, we are made to get into the creative careers, honestly speaking. And this is exactly what we want to do through these particular tests. So this JLUET essentially is made up of two parts. Part one is all about MCQs, about written, obviously done virtually and online. It has different sections, which are logical and aptitude related sections. Second sections are related to the general awareness and general knowledge part of it. And the third part is related to the subjects which you are studying in your class 12. I know that the board exams have not happened. We're not very sure when those exams are going to happen. Whenever they happen, I know that all of you will do well. But most important, why wait for that? If you, and the basic understanding of a knowledge is, on your subject knowledge is needed. We're not getting into the deep dive of your subject knowledge at the class 12th level, which your board examiner is going to assess you or your teachers are going to assess you. What we need to find out is how exactly whether you're tuned to the subjects that you're choosing. So many times I see a student from the science stream in class 12 come and do journalism with us. I've seen many times students who have done commerce do advertising. Many students who have taken humanities do design as well. So our purpose in the part one is not to test you deep dive on your core subjects. Of course, you need to know about it, right? Because exams have not happened. We're not going right now to kind of assess you how much percentage you got in class 12. No, we just need to find out how good, how comfortable you are in the core subjects which you have chosen in class 12. So this is how the part one is, which is almost 60%, which makes up the JLUET. Part two essentially is the balance 40%, which comes from personal interviews or portfolios. In the case of design, we have a portfolio sharing as well. And very simple, extremely simple. Portfolios are nothing else but your expressions of creativity, different works which you've done and in the school in 10th, 11th, 12th, or you may have done it beyond your academic matters and you want to showcase. You're taking a brilliant set of photographs, put it as a part of your portfolio. And I know that the mentors and assessors and panel would be very impressed with you. So this is how the entire two parts are made up. The final results come out of JLUET is the sum of these two parts, right? And they'll be declared on a very quick close results. It does not take too much time for us to declare the results. Idea is again to test you on your aptitude and your passion and whether you are interested in taking up the subject, right? I'll give you two good examples of how under the Faculty of Journalism and Creative Studies, these programs and this test is kind of laid out. First part is related to journalism, advertising, digital, marketing and PR part of it, where the written round, which is the 60% I talked about, the part one, has three sections. Section one is all about understanding about your language. Now, it would have very simple grammar, right? Nothing else. It would have a simple grammar of, putting synonyms and antonyms, what exactly fits where, finishing the entire sentence in some form. Because please understand, in communication studies, in creative careers, language becomes a very important piece, verbal as well as written. Even in films also, you need to end up writing your storyboards, right? So the section is all about assessing you to some bit your language competency, right? Section B, which is almost 50%, we want to put a lot of emphasis on this part. Section B is your own general awareness. Whether you are aware about what is happening in the world around you, whether you're aware of what the pandemic is doing, how exactly the elections are taking, how the world is behaving, what exactly is happening with the earth, climate change, so many things. And it's a general knowledge which you study in the schools. And I know that kids of today, the generation of today, are very, very sharp when it comes to current affairs. So that's where you want to see. And the third part is obviously, as I said, which is related to your subjects which you have chosen in your class 12th, just to understand and assess how passionate, how good, how comfortable you are with the subject. And then the 40% is the PI round. Once you clear this, then you are able to talk to a panel of teachers, professors, and we just kind of speak to you virtually, understand and to know how exactly you feel about this program, why you want to do it, bring out your best. You guys are good. And interviews, always remember one thing. When there is a PI round happening or the interview is happening, when you are, say, imagine if I'm your panel, right? And you're talking to me in your interview, who is going to control the story? Should I be controlling the story about you, or should you be controlling your story about yourself? If you control your own story, I know you'll do very well in the PI. I mean, that's the basic nature of any interviews in the world, be at the senior most level or at the school level. So PI is almost 40% of it. And the kind of questions, as I talked about in the general English, is just replace some words, synonyms, antonyms. General awareness, anything can come in. And I think if you just pick up any book, even digitally, like a Manorama general awareness, you'll be updated. You'll be updated. Don't even bother about anything else. And one way of understanding general awareness is watch news channels, read newspapers wherever possible, even if virtually. I think you will be up to speed. Be in the moment, as we say. The second part of, or the second kind of, examination of JLUET happens under the Faculty of Journalism and Creative Studies is for the design, entertainment, film, animation programs, right? In that, again, we have a 60%, which is the written part of it. Now, this also has three sections. The section one essentially is all about understanding your what you call as the current affairs, right? We generally what we want to do is to understand you not only from a language perspective, but also how you think creatively, which means the general awareness around the world, that's 30%. 30% section B, which is all about your creative aptitude. Creative aptitude essentially would mean whether you are able to understand and relate things creatively. Very simple exercises. You'll enjoy it. Believe me, you'll enjoy these sections as well. And the third part is obviously the design aptitude. If you're taking up admission in the design, in the films, in animation, you would tell yourself also, yeah, I am design oriented. And when you're design oriented, we are checking only the basics. Do not worry about detail. We just need to check on that. So that's a 40%. This is followed by personal interviews, as I said, and also the portfolios that you share with us. Any good creative work that you have done, photography, films, audio, anything that you feel tells a story about you being creative. Show it to us and we'll accept that as a portfolio, right? How does it happen? Just to give you a sense of it. So what if I gave you a question, write the story of a day in a life of Mr. Shoe, and I have shown you the shoe which is absolutely in tatters and torn in 100 words, highlighting all the events which led to this shoe becoming like this. Now, this is pure imagination, right? Pure imagination. You'll come up with any kind of million kind of stories. Every participant would come up with a different kind of a story, and how exciting it is, right? And everybody's right. Believe me, everybody's right. We just need to see how you are imaginative enough to come up. Kids are like that. Second is, look at this second question, which I have given you as a sample. You have an exclamation mark. Can you convert this exclamation mark or any symbol that we can give it to you into a real life thing? Here, the entire exclamation mark is turned into a wall clock with the pendulum, right? You can convert it into a tennis racket as well, right? Isn't it true? So, or it could be a keyhole. So imagine what's happening with all of us. That's the beauty of creative careers. That's the beauty of your mind. And that's how we assess whether you are in it or not. And I think that you'll enjoy that as well. How do you apply? There are 3 simple steps. Go on the JLU website, and there's a link which we'll obviously share with you. You apply for that, fill up that admission application form, attach all your documents which are mandatory, which has been asked for. In case if there is a delay in your qualifying examination, which is the class 12, which are already delayed, do not worry about it. Please fill up these examination JLUET forms, application to the universities, and secure your admission. That's the most important part. Let the board exams happen later. Do not worry about it. Step 2 is you need to understand, because as I said, there are different rounds of these examinations happening, to give access to these examinations to every child who wants to apply at JLU. So fill up the form. When you're filling up the form, please select the preferred date of examination that you feel you want to appear for. So that's a step 2. And the third step is, after successfully submitting these application forms, you would get a JLU admit card from our side very quickly on your registered mail, which you have put in there, and the email ID within 2 days before the selected date, right? Once you have the admit card, you can apply, you'll have a login, you'll apply, and you'll appear for the test. And immediately post that, you'll be given a time when you can join in for a PI or something of that nature. So there are different rounds, as I said it, and these rounds is when the JLUET would happen. So you see that right now, the test which is coming up, JLUET, which is coming up for Faculty of Journalism and Creative Studies on 22nd May. So till 17th May, please apply for it. If I was you, I would definitely apply for it, and from 2 reasons. One is, obviously you end up getting into a university which is of some repute. And number 2 is, they're very interesting examinations, especially from a creative careers perspective. Then obviously there will be more examinations happening on 26th June, 24th July, 14th August. We'll continue with that. There is a great amount of offtake of forms, as I see these days. Every day we are getting an update from our colleagues in the admission and outreach team telling us that many students are applying. So I would urge all of you not to push you. Apply as quickly as possible. Appear for this examination, secure an admission, and then sit back and give your board exams very well. At least you know that you have already got a great admission in a great program, right? This again is a very important thing which all of you should keep in mind. JLUET also gives a scholarship. I mean, obviously, as a JLU gives you great level of scholarships. I mean, it's a big bundle of scholarships we give it to the students every year, almost about a 1 crore worth. So there are 2 ways that we do the scholarship. One way is to get CLAT scores, CAT scores, NID scores, basis that you get some scholarship. Most important, through JLUET, if you qualify, you end up getting scholarships in the year 1 of the tuition fee. For example, if you get, there are 90% of the scholarships are out of this are for 92% and above. If you score 92% and above. Out of this, there are 10 scholarships which are available to all of you. 10 scholarships to students who score 92% and above. There are 15 scholarships which are related from 85% to 91.99%. That's another one. Then you have 80% to 84.99% is about 25 scholarships are available for all of you to take it up. And then there are 40 scholarships which is of 25%. When you score about 75% to 79%. Now, you can very well imagine what's happening in this particular. So you're getting so many of these 90 scholarships which are available to you. And believe me, if you just focus a bit when you're doing your JLUET, you will end up getting a scholarship. Because we really want to support you in these times as well. And that's why the students keep on getting. And we call it under the Faculty of Journalism Creative Studies, these scholarships are called Shri Gurudev Group Media Scholarships. They have national level scholarships. And I think very few universities give media scholarships like this. So I really urge all of you, to not only apply for the JLUET, but also appear for it and appear for it in a very smiling, in a very positive way, so that you end up getting a scholarships as well. So this is how I look at this particular JLUET, especially from Faculty of Journalism and Creative Studies, for all the students who are applying for programs in journalism, advertising, design, films, animation, events, whatever. Apply for it, sit for these examinations, and I'm pretty sure that you'll score very well. And we'll be happy to have you at our university, making sure that that your careers are growing at the same time. You're feeling happy about it. So that's what I had to share it with you. If you have any questions for me, please raise, and I would be more than happy to kind of answer and respond to those questions as well. Any of the questions you have, I would be happy to respond to your questions, or any queries you have, any confusion that you have, more than happy to kind of chip in and fill you in. If anybody wants to come in the chat.
Sir?
Yes, please go ahead.
Sir, this exam is after 12th
Yes,
standard?
Yes, that's true. That's true. If you're applying for an undergraduate program, which is a BA, GMC or BDS, it's after 12th. But if you're applying for a master's...
So, this is...
Sorry? Yeah, yeah. So, and if you're applying for the master's program, obviously, you do it after graduation.
Sir, means if we apply after 12th standard, it may be any stream, science, commerce or arts.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So you can come from any stream in your standard 12. You just need to apply after class 12. When I say after class 12 means, because right now exams are all pending at the board exams. So what we are doing is, and this is what this time university has done, that please apply for this test, whichever stream the student comes from, and select the program that you want to take, appear for this JLUET. Right now, you just have to appear for the entrance exam. And don't wait for the board exams to get over. Yeah.
Okay, sir. And sir, in which city is your university?
So we are based in Bhopal. I'm sure that you would know this. This is in Madhya Pradesh, capital of Madhya Pradesh.
Sir. Yeah, sir. Okay.
Right?
And, okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anna.
Sir.
Yes, please go ahead.
Sir, this is Anushka Namde.
Hi, Anushka.
Sir, I have a very big doubt. I have been dicey about selecting journalism as a career because I have always been a shy student and not very good with words in person. So, is it will it be okay for me to opt to journalism? Suggesting the fact that I have always been very opinionated and I belong to an opinionated family. So I have, but I am a shy person. So what would you suggest?
Anushka, it's a very, very interesting question. And I must say a very honest question as well. So thank you to you. Now, to respond to your question, let me just give you a perspective, and I'm sure that you will be able to get the sense of it, what you should be doing. One thing, please understand that not every journalist is a journalist. Not every journalist in the world as a person is an extrovert. Not necessarily. Absolutely, this is a myth. People who speak a lot or people who are an extrovert does not make them into journalists, right? It does not matter at all. What matters if you want to get into journalism is whether you care for the world or not. Whether you do understand that it's the critical information, the facts, critical information communication, which should go to the masses, which people should understand. In these times, for example, we all as people, we want information to come from our cities, neighborhoods, and places, right? Who's giving us that information? Who's giving us that particular news? It's the journalists of different types. Now, you may not, of course, if you're not an extrovert, as I say, you're more of an introvert, or you do not speak so much, obviously you will not become an anchor per se. But you never know. You never know what life is in store for you. All you need is whether you have a great passion for telling stories, you have a great passion of bringing news and information to people, whether you have a passion of making a great impact. As far as opinions are concerned, as far as you talked about opinionated families, it's perfectly fine. People have a point of view. There's nothing wrong in it to have a point of view. As you grow, as you mature, as you study, you'll understand not only having your own opinion, but also ensuring that you are able to appreciate somebody else's opinion as well. Isn't it true? We all have opinions. We all have our own biases and favorites, right? All of us. But then when professionally you work, whichever area you work in, you would need to appreciate others' opinions as well. The moment you start doing it, you will start crystallizing your thoughts to become a great journalist. Please believe me, in the times of today, like not in earlier times where it used to be a typical set of journalism which was available for the students. Today you have a plenty of platforms to work. You can be the digital space, digital news. You can be in the televisions doing a lot of planning and research for journalism. You can be in the reporting. You can be in the writing part of it, whatever comes naturally to you. So it is not necessary to be an extrovert, not necessary always to be somebody who's outgoing to become a journalist. Journalists are the people who care for the world, and who are the ones who, because of their own solid capabilities, bring out the news, unearth the news, tell their stories to the world so that people benefit out of it and they get unbiased views of it. So Anushka, I feel, since you raised a very important point, I feel you should definitely give it a good shot at it. Now, interestingly, I'll tell you one more thing before I respond. When you apply for say, for example, BA in Journalism and Mass Communication program, BA JMC program, you'll get into the program, you'll start studying all subjects, right? As you get into the second year, you'll get an option to understand whether you are really enjoying journalism or you're enjoying creative brands and advertising side of it. Now, if at that point of time you feel, no, I love brands more and I want to get into advertising, you get a specialization into advertising in the last year. So your BA-GMC would become a specialization with advertising and public relations and brands rather than journalism. But if you feel that you are a great storyteller, you're loving journalism, creating a lot of news capsules in the studios, you continue and specialize into print journalism or digital journalism and whatever you like. So you have an option. It's right now, I think the thought that you want to get into communication studies is a great thought to have. So do not worry about at this juncture being slightly introvert in a way, or slightly quieter in a way, to come in your way of becoming a great journalist. Believe me for it. And I've seen the best of my students becoming some amazing journalists, while in the first year or in the first semester, they never used to speak in the class also. I have many cases which I can always share with you and make you meet up with those people as well, by the way. So that's how I look at it, Anushka. Hope I'm able to answer your question, Anushka.
Definitely, sir. Thank you so much. It was
Thank
a
you so
great.
much.
Thank you for being here.
Pleasure for asking. Anyone else who has a question, please just shoot a question to me and I'll be happy to respond. Yes, Akshat, you raised a hand. I would love to hear from you.
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening.
Sir. First of all, thank you so much for educating us so much about JLU and all the exams and the PR which is going to happen with us. Thank you so much for it.
Pleasure.
I really needed that. Sir, I just wanted to ask that do I have an opportunity to do and perform well in a field of writing and what should I say? You said you told about storytelling, but what I want to say is the reason behind pursuing mass communication is to know about the world of it. To I can write and I can express myself more efficiently and more correctly in a more correct manner to the world. I can show up my art to them. So is there a opportunity in that?
Absolutely. So Akshat, again, a very interesting question. And why I'm saying interesting is, this is something that, I have heard some of my students raising even in the year one. To respond to your question, yes, you have a great opportunity. To be very honest, Akshat, I think, creative careers, when I say again, creative careers would mean journalism or maybe design or advertising, whatever you want to take it up. These are the only programs which gives you the ample free opportunity to express yourself. When I express yourself, obviously, it would mean that either in the form of travel writings, or it would be in the form of creating a film, or it would be in a form of creating a great piece of design, or creating a campaign for social benefit or for brands, whatever it may be. It would be in some form. So yes, of course, it gives you a great opportunity, because as a part of a content and syllabus itself, you get assignments and you get projects to work on. So naturally, if you have a bent of mind to write and express and explain yourself to the world in some form, you get an opportunity from semester one, number one. Number two, which is very, very important, again, going back to your question, is you get an opportunity to select what you want to do. So this question is not that I'll tell you, Akshat, write this only and that's it. No, that's not. We understand in the space of communication professions, every individual is important. Every individual, that's why, my last slide was what? My last slide was, what's your story? And that's true. Every individual on this planet Earth has a story which is unique to them. You as a student, you as a professional, have your own story to communicate and your own perspectives to communicate. So you would get opportunity to kind of express yourself in different one. Asset creation, or the creative asset creation, which I said, like, it could be a news piece, it could be a travel writing, it could be a film, it could be a documentary, it could be a creative campaign in advertising, it could be a public relations campaign, it could be an event plan, whatever you want to do. You would have your own perspective to express into it, and choice is yours what you want to do. Of course, aligned to the subjects. But forget about the syllabus. Obviously, that is an academic thing. You are a student and you say, you know what, sir, I am doing everything what is supposed to be done as a part of my syllabus, but I'm eager to do more things. Can I go back to the studio and sit till 9 in the night, maybe, and create 2 short documentaries? Can I write and create new designs? Can I write great pieces and turn it into a magazine? Of course you can do it, because these studios are for students only. You can do that as well. You can enter international and national competitions in these different spaces. You can collaborate with some international group of students who are partners to our university as well. Last year, we had some students who are partnering, students in Germany on a common campaign which these 2 groups were building it up before we closed down due to this pandemic. So Akshat, to your point, if you have an ability, if you have an inclination, forget about ability. We'll help you build up your abilities. We'll help you build up your skills. But if you have the inclination to express, if you have inclination to tell the stories, if you have inclination to impact the world in a finer way, and at the same time build up a career which pays you, then I think you would be in the right space and apply for it and maybe get groomed. So it's absolutely doable, and it is absolutely preferred by all communication students in our university to express themselves and showcase their great work. Of course, yes. I hope able to answer your question, Akshat.
Thank you so much, sir. It was so satisfactory. I just wanted to tell you that all I need is that grooming thing which you told just now. Because being a rapper and a musician, I'm already, delivering a message to the world and expressing my feelings in form of my raps and music. And but that grooming thing, which will help me to, perfect my art as much as possible, to bring a perfection in it. And sir, just one more question.
Yes,
one more question I just wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Sir, you told about that from second year we can get a specialization for PR and advertising.
Mm-hmm.
I am quite enough interested into advertising. So, sir, I just wanted to ask: are there companies which will be getting placement through JLU in advertising field, to be specific?
Okay. So Akshat, I just wanted to kind of correct this. So the specialization in the 3-year program, I'm talking about 3-year program, happens in the last year, which is in the 3rd year, the entire year, right? But you are able to make selection which area you're going to specialize in the 2nd year itself. That's fine. Number 1. Number 2, if you're interested in advertising, you're more than welcome. Number 3, you talked about the organizations which would be able to give you internships or placement. Let me just tell you, all major international organizations who are based in India, you do your own Google search, know which are the top agencies, and then you would find that all our students over the period of time, last about 4 years, 5 years, have always got internships and placement in those agencies. And they are creme de la creme advertising agencies. Just to kind of fill you in, before JLU itself, I used to work with the top-notch communication agency in the world, Ogilvy. And why I bring this up is to tell you, I have always seen these agencies opting for students from university like ours is because they know that our content, what we're teaching them, is absolutely linked or aligned to the industry. So yes, of course, you would get internships and placements in the agencies or in the companies that you're talking about. And we would not want you to get into a smaller agencies where you would not be able to express. We wish that all our students get into the better organizations, number one. But Akshat, one thing is also equally important, as you would appreciate, is it's a collaboration between you and me. If I was a professor and you are a student and you want to get into it, it's a collaboration between you and me. I would do the mentoring. And that's what, we are very proud that each of our faculty members in different spaces treat these students as their own, kind of a teams. So it becomes very naturally for us to mentor you. So do not worry about it. And it's a pleasure to do that. But it's a collaboration. When you want to grow your career, you collaborate with your professor and with your university, with your teachers, and push yourself. When you do it, when you walk one step, I'll walk 2 steps with you. That's how it works very well. So yes, if you see the track records, all good organizations have come to us for internships and placements. And I'm sure the same thing would happen with you. Even in times of virtual internships, right? Many organizations have taken our students to work with them.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for answering my question and clearing my doubt. It was so, I'm glad to have such a interactive session with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Akshat. And Akshat, before I close, I think you said that you're a musician and a rapper. Some of our students of about 2 years or last year as well, they're doing some amazingly good work in the music industry as well. And by the way,
I know one of them.
Who's that?
An alumni of JLU, the rapping machine, Aman Khan.
So yeah, he's good. He's very good. He's very good. You also should check out on Derek and Amijit. They're all doing some amazing work in industry.
I'm signed to his music label. That's
wonderful. Yeah. That's great. That's great to know that.
Thank
you so much, Akshat. I look forward. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Kuhu, you have asked me a question. There's a message. You talked about the UX designing course, scope, opportunity, internship. Let me just tell you, I was talking about the design thing. UX is, naturally in the world that we are in today, user experience becomes one of the areas in design, honestly. And I don't know what has happened to the world, because if you see your cell phones, you're on your televisions, you're on your cell phones, tablets, your different gaming machines, so many electronic machines that we all play with and use. So technology is good to the extent where it is able to interact with the consumers, with us as humans, right? Isn't it true? And if that is the case, then the professionals in the UX space would always be in the demand. And that's why, this UX design is going phenomenally. As I speak to you, I know with the help of our admission and creative as well as outreach teams, we're getting so many forms in the UX and visual communication design that I'm amazed. These are very big careers. There are more jobs, more growth opportunities than we have programs and students and trained professionals in the country. In fact, worldwide. What is the success of Apple iPhones? What is the success of Macs? Success is not because of the fact that they were able to get a great level of machinery and technology. Success for iPhone is, and just as an example I'm giving it to you, is because Apple thought through how should humans and how should consumers interact with their cell phones. So the simplicity of design and the simplicity of usage and the clarity of design actually attracts us towards Apple products. And I'm not saying that Samsung products are not, no, but I'm just giving an example of it. So to your question, that the scope and opportunities for UX professionals, design professionals, is growing day by day. It involves a lot of creativity, a lot of understanding of human behavior, and that's why these professions and careers are growing. Almost all global and Indian companies where there is a space of interaction between technology and consumers and people, you would find a UX designer. So UX designer is not only an engineer who sits and just designs the interface. UX designer is also a professional or a design person who's able to understand the mind of the consumer and then tailor the offering in such a way that we are able to lap up that particular piece of technology or an iPhone or whatever you want to call it. It's a very, very interesting space which has grown, and a lot of work is happening in this space. Very good programs. I mean, I have my first year students in the Bachelor of Design program today. I've seen some of their works in the second semester. Outstanding work. It's God gift actually to them. I can very well imagine in second year and third year how brilliant these professionals will be. And that's the scope which is growing. Coming to the internships, in the BDES UX program and the MDES program, including the Visual Communications Design program, all our students have to do long-term internships and integration, what we call as a secondment with the industry. And every student is given that opportunity to go to wherever they have to go. Right now, everything has been virtual, but I'm sure, very, very hopeful and sure that in 6 months' time, we'll all be, things should be much, much better with all the due course. That is where you'll be able to go to the industries and work in a long-term basis with the industries on the internships. So your internships and even placements are all covered as a part of various programs. In fact, all the programs. But since you talk about UX, it is. I would say, I mean, there's nothing like a written thing, but I know that it is all ensured where you will be able to get the best internships. And there are 6 months internships which happen in industry, which makes you absolutely industry ready. Anybody would just lap you up in terms of getting you to the organizations because you'll be good and we'll be getting an opportunity to work with them. So it's a very big area. If you're interested, I would seriously urge you to apply for it and go for it. You'll love this UX space. It's very exciting. I've seen it. I'm not a UX professional, but in the course of about a year, I've learned a lot about it, and I know that they are very good areas. Shraddha, thank you so much, for putting in a comment about getting to know about JLUET and about understanding so much. I mean, that's the whole idea of interacting with all of you people who want to. And we'll keep on doing this with all of you because I think it's important for all of you to know. Thank you, Kuhu, if you got the answer. It's very important. I said it right in the beginning. It's very important for all of you to treat this JLUET is not just as an examination, quote unquote. Treat it as an opportunity to interact with the university. Treat it as an opportunity to explore possibilities of what you could do, which you may not really know. Many times I've seen students come for the PI interviews and they turn out to be such great conversations that eventually the students gets to know more about himself or herself and ends up doing some amazing piece of work over the course of his or her degree program. And that is what I would urge all of you to take this up and apply for this and appear for it and come and meet us. I mean, it would be lovely to maybe interact with you directly in a personal interview and eventually meet up with you in the campus as well. Any other questions? Anyone have it? I'm available. I'm here. I don't have to go anywhere, so it's perfectly fine. If you want to, if you think about it, if you're thinking about the questions or your queries, do ask me. It's very important. That's the whole point of doing all this. It's very important. I'll give you, by the time somebody is actually thinking of a question, maybe I'll give you a personal example. And if you allow me on that, my daughter is in class 12, and I was talking to her the other day, and I was trying to understand from her. Now that the board exams are postponed a bit, how does she see her career growing and flourishing? I'm so pleasantly surprised, and I'm sure that all of you are like that. She knows exactly what she has to do. She knows exactly. And she said that if the exams are postponed, of course, we have prepared ourselves well, and whenever they happen, we'll give the exams. But more important, our journeys towards any university where she wants to go has already started. Originally, they would have waited for class 12 to happen, and then they start applying and understanding. But I think look for opportunity in these troubled and chaotic times. I think all of you have an opportunity to secure your admissions in the programs of your choice. In the program, in my context, if I'm talking, then I'll say about the creative careers or programs that you have it in Jawaharlal City University, and you have ample time to prepare yourself mentally. Whenever your exams get over, you come and join the programs. You'll be very prepared. Also, one more thing which I'll share with all of you. All the students who take admission and secure their admission after the entrance tests, the plan is that we would, over the period till the time the formal classes start, we would continue giving you a lot of stuff to maybe experience, maybe read, maybe understand, or do some small, what you call window of a certificate, something, do it virtually. Idea is to keep on engaging with you. And we want to do that is because we understand that all of you are eager to learn even more and gradually smoothen yourself into the university ecosystem. So we are very excited about that part as well. That's why a lot of people who have already taken admission, we are starting to engage ourselves with them. I did some interviews 2 days back, and I was very happy to note how excited these aspirants are. And I'm pretty sure that when you get an opportunity, you'll also be in the same bracket. Any questions? Anybody wants to put up a questions? We want to put it in the chat. You can do that. Perfectly fine.
Good evening, sir.
Hi, Priyanshi.
Hello, sir. So I want to ask that what kind of portfolio do you want to show? Like, I am from design. I've applied for UX design.
Okay.
So what kind of
Okay. So I'll give you a sense of what I meant by portfolio. And of course, you are applying for the UG program, right, Priyanshi? It is. I mean, that's what you may be. Okay. So imagine a situation. Look at it this way, and I'll give you a simpler view to this portfolio thing. Why do we want to see your portfolio? For that matter, anybody in the world, why would we want to see your portfolio? We want to see your portfolio from two aspects. One is, what is your bent of mind? And since you're talking for design program, you're talking for creative program, I as a assessor or I as a mentor would want to see how is Priyanshi's point of view? What is the perspective of Priyanshi when she talks about creativity? What does she think about it, right? For example, somebody may be a poet, somebody may be the artist, somebody may be an illustrator, somebody may be a cartoonist, somebody has the ability to create new things out of nothing. Somebody has a great ability of creating great pieces of art from a scrap. I've seen people doing it. Some are great photographers, right? Everybody have their own way of expressing their inner feelings, their point of views, their stories, whatever you want to, whatever makes you happy. And this is not a question of 11th and 12th. You start doing it when you're a baby, and you start doing it the moment you start holding a pen or something else in your hand. Everything which you have done so far, and you may have multiple things. You may be a photographer, you may get 20 things together. What you need to do is to accumulate all that, whatever you feel expresses and showcases your creative thinking and abilities, whatever it may be. Do not worry about whether it is good or bad. Nobody in the world can judge you whether you're good or bad. You are the only person who can judge yourself and know, okay, I have been able to express this thought in an art piece which I have created or a painting that I've done. And this is what I feel is what my mind is telling me. And if you're able to explain it to whenever you're presenting, that's good enough. I may say it's bad, but that does not matter to you. It does not matter to you until unless you are unable to communicate what you've done. Right? So one is accumulate everything that you have it in 10th, 11th, 12th, any creative pieces. As I said, photography, paintings, sketches, line diagrams. So whatever you think describes you or showcases your creativity in some form, get it in one place in a folder. Do categorize it very well. For example, if you have photographs, put it in a subfolder or category of photographs. Some people have different kinds of photographs. Somebody would say, I've done a nature photography and I've done portraits. I've done landscape photography. I've taken photographs only of moon. They're all subcategories, right? You can bucket it together as a photographs. You can bucket all your paintings and sketches in one form, provided you have it. So my point is, get everything together, categorize it to your best abilities, put it, and there are lots of free sites available on the internet, honestly, which are for the students, where you do not have to pay anything. You can, I mean, what you call, register yourself online on that. They are free of cost. They have a limited edition only for the students. Put all your work there. So you will have a digital portfolio ready with a link. So whenever you have to present, you can showcase that. That's number one. So get everything together. And number two is, if you are getting into a UX design, for example, and I am a mentor and I'm doing a portfolio, I'm in the portfolio presentation for you, honestly, Priyanshi. What do I want to know? All I want to know at the stage that you are in class 12, whether you have a passion for or interest for creativity, for expression in any form. That is the only thing. And how passionate you are for the craft that you're getting in, and how passionate and clear you are what you're getting in. That is the only thing that we want to do. Because UX and any other forms, areas of design require a bit of illustration, require a bit of drawing and those things. Believe me, in the first semester itself, there are subjects which are as simple as drawing and art and illustrations, which means we will be helping you grooming up your skills. People who are not painters turn into great painters. Only thing what drives them is the passion and their interest, the purpose, what we call it, right? So if you have a purpose, you accumulate everything as a part of a portfolio, categorize it, maybe caption it somewhere here and there, and you're able to explain it to all of us. I think you're good to go. Don't worry. Some may be very, very good. Some may be at a preliminary stage. Do not bother. As I always keep on saying, it's your story. And if it is your story, you're the best person to control your story rather than me controlling your story. And that's a basic tip which I always give when you're going in for an interview. Control your own story. And I think your portfolios would be a great piece of telling the world who you are and how you are and what you think and how you do. Is that okay, Priyanshi? Would that help you?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for answering the question.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Anyone else has any questions? You can ask. Okay, what I've also done is I put a link for everyone, which is the entrance application link. And I've also put a link where you'd find the brochure of Faculty of Journalism and Creative Studies on the website. So you can just take a quick look. Of course, brochures are living documents, as I say. They keep on improving. There are new things which keep on happening. But I think the brochure which is there will be able to give you an updated understanding of what is around. By the time you step in and give the exams, there will be more things added to this brochure, so which is perfectly fine. So you all can check out and know more about it, apart from our admission team. Anyone else who has a question, or just let me know. How is that? Generally, since nobody's asking questions, so I'll ask. Can anyone tell me how? What do you think about the board exams? I mean, they're getting postponed. Are you all? How difficult it is to come out of the zone of examinations? How difficult it is for all of you? Is it difficult because you all kind of zeroed down on your examinations and then they got postponed, right?
Yes, sir. It's quite difficult.
It's difficult, right? Akshat,
Yes.
It's a very. I can very well imagine how difficult it is for students actually. But I know it sounds very as if I'm just giving a simple yarn on it. But I'm saying this purely because we have all lived through this school life and university life, and So it gives us a bit of a more enriched experience on it. What I would suggest to all of you, and I would really wish that you guys are able to do this. Since all of you have prepared yourself well for your board exams and it got postponed, one of the things that we have always got to realize is that one has to reconcile with the position, and that's the basic nature of crisis actually. So the world is in crisis, right? The best way of tackling a crisis is to reconcile to the crisis, to understand this is a situation. Now, how do I overcome it? Some people actually, what they have started doing it, I've heard about it. Some people have started, chilling out. Their time period has gone up in terms of when they are not studying, because they have prepared themselves very well. So do not stay in a constant stress of that the exams would happen. Where am I? What am I not? Do not worry about it. And I think that is the real reason why, university like ours, actually, we with a lot of discussions happen internally with all the deans and the wonderful vice chancellors. We said that this is a very difficult time for the students, and we keep on pushing them for the board examinations and do not open up the admission for them. It would be a disservice to them. So obviously, we said that it would be a great idea to have this entrance test, which is more of a understanding their abilities and passion, and then ensuring that they are able to secure their admission in the university and programs of choice, so that at least on one count you are secure. You feel free. Okay, fair enough. I'll give. That's why we have placed a lot of premium on this examination, JLUET, rather than on the board examination. Of course, you have to clear the board examination whenever they happens, but it is very important to do well, and we would be able to give you admission purely basis this entrance test also, rather than waiting for you and then understanding what you're going to do with the board examination. So do not stress. That would be my advice, more as an elder, more as a mentor. Do not stress about anything. All of you would do well if you have worked hard so far. Do not worry about these timelines. Yeah, but everybody has to cope up. So we shall pass through this time. Don't worry.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Akshat. Anyone has any other questions which you need to put up, or how do you want to? Should we sign off? What do you want to do?
Diwakar sir, there's a question on the chat. The question says,
how many hours? Yes. Yeah. So how many hours test? So this test, essentially, JLUET is for the design thing. It's for 3 hours, and this is how I look at it. So it would be for 3 hours, the design test. For the journalism and other things, it could be for 2 hours. That's but each of these tests have 3 sections. Honestly, 3 sections, as I talked about, 2 different ways. Because why we want to give you enough time is so that you're able to write in the language section. You're able to write whatever has been given to you rather than scrambling. Obviously, a lot of it is on MCQs. A lot of it is on MCQs, particularly related to your subject areas. But then there are some spaces, some portions where you'll have to write a bit about whatever the situation is. And I think it would be good. A lot of work actually is happening in these spaces which are very multidisciplinary. So I think one of the advantages of students in the journalism and creative studies programs, UG and PG both, is that they are able to interact and get access on various different subjects as well. For example, psychology, sociology. These are the subjects which entrepreneurship. We bring a lot of value into our content. So students who actually apply for these programs and study these programs are also able to groom themselves in a very multidisciplinary perspectives, because that's a very important thing for any communication professional going forward. So that's something we try to bring a value apart from the core media subjects. Yeah. Anyone who ever wants to interact further, you're free to write to me, please. You're free to call me. I'll be more than happy to, kind of support you in your journey towards Jharkhand City University. give you all kind of support. In case if you're preparing for the JLUET, please reach out so that we are able to support you in terms of giving you a sense of what you should be studying. You don't have to study per se. It's not from that aspect. But yeah, just be aware of what is happening around you. As I said, portfolios that compile everything, showcase your best works, be aware of general knowledge, your basic abilities of it. And also just brush up quickly on your subjects which you have taken in class 12. You are appearing for the board examination, just brush it up. And I'm sure that you are prepared on that. I think you'll sail through and you will do well. But if anybody has any queries beyond this session, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to support. Do mention in your mails to me or message to me, giving me a reference of this session so that I'm able to relate what we talked about and I'm able to support you along with my team as much as possible. So thank you so much to many of you who have been here. These sessions would continue happening. So this is not like a one-off thing we are doing. Like there are multiple stages and rounds of JLUET. Same way, there will be multiple rounds of an interaction between me, my colleagues, with all of you or the prospective students. So please spread the word and I'm sure that we'll see you soon. So thank you so much and the students who are appearing for the JLUET. Bye.